So this is my expectation of what I want to happen. But this is what really happened. Back in the shop again after our trip to Utah. Painted the head last night. Got it sitting back on there. Looks good. Got the head studs in, getting ready to loop the tops here. And we'll get that thing torqued and put some valve rockers on and get the valves adjusted and check our clearance on our valves. See how everything is. Got the cylinder head back on, got the valves adjusted. I tried to make a cool time-lapse video for that, but the camera died. Working on this intake tube that runs across. My buddy over at Mountain Machine makes this really cool guillotine valve. So that's normally open, and then if you pull a pin, it spring loads and snaps shut in case the engine runs away. You know, diesels have a track record of running away when you start turning them up and really putting the fuel to them. So this one has actually stuck, the throttle has stuck on the lake before, and I was able to get it shut down, but it's going to be really nice to have this guillotine. If it does it again, all I got to do is pull this pin. I can attach it to a cable that'll run up to the controls, snap that pin, and boom, shuts the air off, shuts the engine off. Figure out the pump, get the throttle unstuck, and away we go. Just gonna put the final touches on this here Cummins boat, get ready to go to the lake. Got everything all together. I moved the trans cooler over to this side. It's a lot cleaner. Don't have the lines wrapping around the trans. I'm tired of breaking flex plates in it, so cracks in that flex plate shattered the flex plate pretty good. So I got a fluid dampener, and we're going to actually pin this to the crank and make this kit where you can drill and pin this thing in. These things are pretty important once you start spinning these motors up and turning them up. The torsional vibration on this crankshaft. Basically, every time a piston fires in a diesel, it's like hitting the crankshaft with a sledgehammer. And that vibration rings through the crankshaft. Well, it comes out the ends of the crank, obviously, and your flex plate, your flywheel bolts, all of that pays for it. That's why these dual mass flywheels are coming out on these new diesel trucks with all the springs in them to absorb some of that. So we're going to put this nice fluid dampener on the back, try to absorb some of that torsional vibration out of the crank, and hopefully we don't break any more flex plates. Okay, so we used their locating kit. It's basically this little fixture here. This fixture bolts to the end of the crank right here and actually allows you to drill the holes for these pins. Now on your 3rd gen Dodges, you're going to have a small pin and then you'll drill 3. So this one you only drill 2. And what that does is locates the dampener. Let's see if I can set this camera up in here. We'll install this thing. Alright. So first thing to go on is this friction plate. Basically this is a material that has traction on both sides. It's a type of sandblasting they do to sheet metal. And that gets better traction on the crank. You want to make sure this thing is extremely clean, because this is very important that this doesn't move back and forth. It will break the end of the crank off. If it gets loose, it'll damage a lot of stuff. Just like that. Now we're ready to install our bolts and torque it down to 125 foot-pounds. I have the bolt kit that goes with it. Pretty nice piece. Got ARP hardware, and the phone's ringing. Okay, engine's all back together. New cylinder head. Rand's gonna help me move it down to the lake, huh? You ready to go to the lake? Wanna go to the lake, puppy? Yeah, let's go to the lake. Go take it, test it, make sure the transmission's working good now. I've actually got one of my slower props on it, so it'll probably only do about 70, but that's good. It's a good strong test for overdrive. Had a couple people ask me about what this was. This is a scale, and it's actually pretty accurate. Let's go get the truck. Should we go get the truck? Alrighty, let's see if this old girl will start. This will be the first time it's been started this year. I guess that pretty much sums that up. We're ready to put an air filter on it and put the water pump back together and go to the lake. So usually what I do, I take this water pump housing off and then I start it. I usually put a new impeller in it if it needs it, and then put it back together, and my next startup will be at the lake. But yeah, she sounds good, snappy. Time to test the boat, see if the transmission will work, try out Industrial's new cylinder head, a few new parts on there, and make sure everything works. So we gotta stop and get fuel, and I gotta renew my pass, and we will be on the water. It doesn't feel like the transmission is shifting at all, but we'll have to get it up a little bit in RPM and see. So here we go. A massive fail. Transmission doesn't shift. It shifted one time. Something's wrong with the governor. I'm not sure. It's floating in the water right there. Might be a good one. Back to the drawing board. Probably another 10 hours of work, get the transmission back out of it and figure out what's wrong with it. I have a pretty good idea what's wrong with it because I bypassed the governor inside and I wasn't quite sure how to do all that, and the experiment didn't work. So nice day on the lake anyway.